Thank you, CV. Thank you, Manoj and Sanjeev, for your very, very interesting comments. Interesting enough to compel me to make copious notes about what you said. CV, you and CII never cease to amaze me. It's fabulous to see the speed with which you picked up on this idea, how quickly you were able to put your thoughts together along with your colleagues. And I'm really delighted today to launch India's Future Business Group initiative in this 125th year of CII. As the Prime Minister had once said, and I quote, "We have a million problems, but at the same time, we have a billion minds." And truly, in a way, what all the speakers today spoke about immense possibilities, immense capabilities, and India's strength to grab the future. And I have no doubt in my mind that this initiative holds huge potential going forward. The initial members that I saw represent the best of new businesses in India. And I would be delighted to have the Government of India, through the DPIIT, the Industry Ministry, partner with CII in this initiative to promote future businesses, get like-minded countries, possibly may not be all, but many of the like-minded G20 countries and their businesses onto this platform. The selection that Manoj just put out was a very good starting point. It, of course, can be expanded to take individual European Union countries, particularly since Sweden and Norway and some of these countries have a lot of traction for new businesses. We could possibly look at some emerging areas like possibly Canada would, of course, come in play. But we could even look at South Africa or Brazil, for instance, give it a more pan-world character. I don't know whether Russia could also fit into the bill. But I'm delighted at the concept that you have put before me. And clearly, the objective is to get growth back into India. 8%, I have always believed, is a modest growth. And we can do it, we should do it, and we'll all have to work collectively to achieve that. It's unfortunate that certain global events in the last 2 or 3 years, and then by that I mean the trade wars and the disruption in global trade, and now the last few months of severe health crisis, the pandemic, has set us back from the aggressive growth plans that we had. But I, for one, believe that we will overcome this faster than anybody else, faster than anybody imagines. As Manoj rightly said, Atmanirbhar Bharat is only the beginning of India's self-realization of its own potential to grow and to contribute to the global economy from a position of strength, from a position of a trusted partner in resilient global supply chains. I like the idea of hand-holding and doing skill development, looking at the processes, supporting both existing and future new businesses. And in that sense, I believe that one aspect we may also add amongst the various things that Manoj mentioned could be the funding of potential new businesses. Whether it is through government support, whether it's through banking, that is one aspect. But I think the biggest support that new businesses, particularly the type that were listed out, digital businesses or the new age healthcare and education platforms. By manufacturing, I'm assuming you're looking at 3D manufacturing and robotics and all of that. Now, all of these are things where India can actually innovate within the country also. I'm not stopping anybody from importing technologies, learning from the best available in the world, bringing in technologies, bringing in skill sets, bringing in knowledge, R&D. But I also believe India also has tremendous potential. A lot of our youngsters demonstrate huge capabilities. They're full bubbling with excitement, with ideas. Very often the detriment is adequate capital. Government has its own limitations both to understand new businesses, to provide adequate funding, and to really assess and analyze the potential of new businesses. Not something government can do really efficiently. May I make a proposition to your group to study and expand or build upon? Let us take just the unicorns to begin with. Or what's the other word where the person is just getting into a unicorn? I'm forgetting what you call them.
Unicorn PUC.
Unicorns, that's right. So can we get the unicorns and unicorns to forego, and I'm saying it without any great thought, but on an impulse. I'm suggesting it to all the young entrepreneurs who made it big. If all these unicorns and unicorns sell 1% of their equity and create a pool of capital, it'll be Indian capital, it'll be an Indian pooled investment vehicle where some of you all can put in your investment advisors or your investment teams to support the assessment of our young people coming up with new ideas and demonstrate your commitment to supporting new businesses with Indian capital. Because I sometimes feel pain that so many good ideas have had to sell out at that critical point at very low valuations to international funding, and the advantage of that growth was largely offshore and India could not participate in that advantage. Also, I'm sure this kind of a group will be more sympathetic and more understanding of India's pressing needs, problems, and solutions. I'll just leave that thought with you. Obviously, government cannot micromanage your own plans. But I have always felt that Indian businesses should put in more equity into this space. And CII actually could play a leadership role and get all your members also to commit a certain pool of capital. For example, now your president and your next president both come from the finance world. Right? That's also reflective of the new age that we are all witnessing. And one, a traditional banker who's also introducing technology in a big way. One, a fintech person who has in a way demonstrated that while the world thinks, I don't want to be more explicit, I think Sanjeev understands what I'm trying to say. Let me leave it at that. But he has truly demonstrated the capabilities of the intelligent Indian entrepreneur and the ability to surpass traditional businesses, which at one point of time looked to be the gold mine rather than the new age businesses. And as you rightly said, Fortune 500 also is showing that big churn. But we see that churn across the world in every which way we can. I mean, Alphabet, Amazon, all the Apple, Microsoft, all of these big high valued companies in the US, Ritesh's own company in India. All of these are reflective of the new age that is dawning upon the world very, very speedily. And I think our traditional businesses would do well to contribute to such a fund also. If all the members of CII, I mean, it's a small amount. For, let's say, for a $5 billion net worth person in CII, even if he puts in $100 million, he positively will make money out of it. But in the worst case, if not anything else, he will have the satisfaction, even if he doesn't make money out of it, that he contributed to giving a platform, an opportunity to thousands and thousands and thousands of youngsters to explore with new ideas, to come up with new solutions, to see how they could contribute to the growing India story. So just a thought I wanted to leave with you. I like the idea about capacity building also. In fact, amongst the other things you mentioned about skill development, retraining for the entrepreneur, for the staff, for the workers, you may like to look at mentorship. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, some of our very senior business leaders have gone into the mentorship mold. Possibly our Marico friend, Mariwala. Mr. Mariwala has gone into the mentorship mold. Some sense all these senior business leaders now have to let go to their children or to their professional managers to handle. And I think it's time that Mr. Anand Mahindra, Mr. Uday Kotak, all of them become mentors, not only to their own family and family businesses or their own empires, but also to these new age and young entrepreneurs. And they should allocate, okay, it's not proper for me to say should, but I would appeal to them to allocate quality time, committed time. If at times they can even travel to the interiors of India after the COVID story is sorted out, it can really encourage. Imagine a Mukesh Ambani going to Gorakhpur and meeting the youngsters there. Imagine a Uday Kotak going to Tiruchirappalli and meeting the youngsters there. I've seen the energy Ritesh can take out. When I was with him in Bhutan, people were flocking to him like a film star. That's the power of all these big names. When they engage with the youth, when they talk to the next generation, it can be inspirational. It'll move people out of that, again, that old age thinking and that traditional government job mindset to start exploring the world. And some of the ideas that you all have come up with are truly revolutionary. I'm a big fan, for example, of the person who started that truck driver service, where he provides truck drivers every 300-400 kilometers, changing the driver and cleaner and helping them get back home to family, and a new team takes over. This is that company?
Revigo PhD.
That's right. Now, it's something which sounds so simple now. But when I first heard it, it was truly amazing. It was astounding to hear that somebody could have thought of that idea. I'm willing to offer the railways to the Future Business Group to begin with. Every aspect of railways is open to you transparently. Get all these 20-25 people, your initial members, together, and I will get the railways and each member to present a host of issues that we are struggling with. To begin with, maybe we open up a whole sector, drill it down to the minutest detail, and see if we can come up with solutions. Just one sector being analyzed, drilled down to its smallest detail, can have wonderful impact. And very often, Since he's the Prime Minister of India and my leader, it may sound to you a little awkward my saying it, but believe me, if you ask me, the real startup entrepreneur with ideas is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And I'll tell you how his mind works. Two instances of a call, a presentation 2 weeks ago. Two instances in one call. One, we are looking at increasing the speed of our trains to 160 kilometers per hour. So we'll necessarily need to fence both sides of the track. And it's a huge cost. So just doing a Mumbai-Delhi fencing, you're looking at 3,000-4,000 crores. Probably more than that. Plus, when government implements it, it's quite messy also. He said, why don't you bid out solar projects along your track? And they will have to maintain the solar assets. So they will necessarily have to build a wall. Possibly along both sides of the wall also they will set up solar panels. So nobody can break it easily. In any case, they'll provide security around the system. So your wall will be safe, solar panels will be safe, and a public-private partnership will help railway get electricity, clean energy for the next 25 years at today's 3-4 cent cost. We'll get a wall built, which they would otherwise have to build also wherever they set up the plant. Maybe the cost will be slightly more. We'll factor in, instead of 3 cents, I'll pay 4 cents for the power. But I'll get my wall. I'll get low-cost power. Business investment will come into the system. And it will help me move towards making Indian Railways the world's first net zero emission railway by 2030. Now, look at the transformational and multidimensional aspects of this simple suggestion. Item number 2. We were sharing our huge ramp up of productivity in our coach making factories. So in the last 6 years, our Indian coach making factories, not only railway factories, not only have stopped making that old design integral coach factory, ICF design coaches, which were prone to accidents and fatal accidents at that. We are now making only relatively better, not necessarily the best, LHB coaches. And thanks to this, amongst many other initiatives, whole of last year, from 1st April 19 till today, we have not had one single passenger dying because of a railway accident. Passenger of the railway has not died because of a railway accident for the last now 17 months. Now, along with this, we have doubled the output of the same plants. We have only 3 plants. But the output is doubled in the last 6 years. Probably a little more than double. So I was sharing with him that 5 years down the road, I have no business. I would have met my whole demand. So I flagged it off and the presentation went on. After 20 minutes, he comes back to the original point which I had raised. And he says, just think, all over the world, trucks and trailers are two separate features. The truck hauls the trolley or the trailer, leaves it at its destination and is on to its next journey. So one truck can actually service 6 or 8 or 10 trolleys. And that much faster is the turnaround, that much lower is the investment. Loading, unloading time is separately taken care of. Driver, cleaner, the body truck, actual physical truck doesn't get stuck. Why don't you all start making the trailers? And why don't you talk to Road Ministry to change the laws around it? I'm delighted to share with you, the Road Ministry has changed the law to allow this now. And I'm already looking at whether I can make those trolleys or trailers and go into the new age of trucking, which the whole world is using. But somehow, sadly, we've remained in an old age. two examples in one presentation coming out of the Prime Minister. That is the huge potential India has, in my humble opinion. And I believe, and this was in a way an example of mentorship. That's where I think all of you senior new age business leaders can play, not only through talk series, but also through literally hand-holding and mentorship. I'm happy to accept your suggestion of a joint working group, and let's build up this story further. Let's engage with other countries. Government will fully back up CII, or we can do a joint engagement with other countries and build up a platform with like-minded countries, trusted partners to promote new age businesses in India. Clearly, as Sanjeev rightly said, it is the future belongs to the disruptors. And it is all of you youngsters, all of you new age entrepreneurs who are going to change the fortune of India, who's going to bring prosperity to the teeming millions in India, who are going to be the job creators of the future. And each one of the ideas can be drilled down for more and more outcomes. And Health Stack has so many immense potentials that I can speak for 1 hour only on the Health Stack just now. My mind is just crowded with ideas on what can be done on health. Each one of those ideas holds tremendous potential for our youngsters. I also second Mr. Bajaj when he says that we have to democratize and socialize the benefits of new age businesses and take technology to the masses. Prime Minister Modi has given only 1,000 days to take digital broadband to every village now. And I don't know if you recall, in 2015, he had similarly announced from the Red Fort electricity to every village in 1,000 days. It came as just a helicopter drop when he announced it on 15th August. And I remember I was vigorously clapping, and my wife sitting next to me tapped and said, "Hey, that target is for you. So you have to do it." And I suddenly realized that I'm happy to hear it, but huge trust that the Prime Minister has and the huge responsibility that he thrusts encouraged the entire team. So much so that if I recall correctly, it was a Friday or Saturday, and our teams got tracking. And by Monday, we had the first cut plan ready of how we are going to take electricity to every village, without which we couldn't have taken it to every home. So I really am delighted at the business leaders of the new age coming together on this platform. I am confident that this initiative will resonate not only in India but in other parts of the world too. Let us all work together to truly make India the innovation hub. We've just had a small uptick, a 4-rank improvement from 52 to 48 in our India rankings in the Global Innovation Index, announced probably yesterday. We have a huge startup ecosystem in India, but it's more about recognizing our capabilities, about uplifting our entrepreneurs. It's more about our self-confidence that we can do it. Something which we demonstrated in the last 5 months, when not only did we become self-sufficient in ventilators, PPEs, masks, testing kits, testing laboratories, but we have now opened up for export all of these products. Similarly, I think these new age ideas will help us prepare India to contribute in a much bigger way to global supply chains. Let's go for it, friends. Let's work together. I have no doubt this spirit that you have in your team will encourage even government to proactively go forward with new ideas, new processes, new encouragement and hand-holding industry to make it easier and simpler to do business here. And together, no power on earth can stop us from succeeding. My best wishes to all of you. Thank you.